There are certain items in Runescape that are just too good not to use. A bomb you can throw at bosses to do a flat 10% more damage, a potion that doubles your health, a free tier 75 weapon for all styles, or a necklace that pretty much can give you infinite prayer points. To anyone unfamiliar with these items, you might be thinking, yeah, right dude, you're just trying to reel me into the video, which I am. But to everyone who knows what I'm talking about, you're sitting there like, oh yeah, Chev is about to make their lives 10 times easier. And I will be. In this video, I'll be telling you about some items that will make your PVM journey infinitely better for both bossing and slayer. I'll be making a follow-up guide as well with useful quest and skill unlocks. So don't worry if you don't see something like Invention or the Temple of St. Distant quest on here. I haven't forgotten about it, and if the video is out already, you will see a card pop up in the top right hand corner, so watch it after this one. If that sounds like something you might enjoy, you know where to find that like button, and make sure to subscribe. We're aiming to hit 15,000 subscribers by the end of 2026. Enough yapping though, my name's Chevalric, and let's talk about some useful PVM items. Let's start off with a bang. Like, literally. As vulnerability bombs will be your best friend during any bossing encounter. These bombs can be bought off the Grand Exchange for about 25 to 30k each. Which sounds like a lot at first, but they are so worth it. When thrown at a boss, you will do a flat 10% more damage to it for a minute. And then you have to throw another one to reapply the effect. Sure, this is not worth using at Kickback Dragon, but go into God Wars Dungeon 2, where most drops are worth more than 30k, it for sure is worth using. It is literally a free 10% damage without you having to do anything extra besides throwing it at the boss. Next up, let's talk about one of the healing items you must have, the Enhanced Excalibur. This item is unlocked by completing the Hard Seers area tasks and further upgraded by completing the Elite Seers area tasks. Both versions are very much worth getting as they heal 4% of your max life points every 4.2 seconds. If you have the base version, it does this 5 times and the upgraded one does this 10 times. So pretty much healing you 20 to 40% of your max life points. This means that when activated, let's say at 5k health, you will heal 200 HP 5 or 10 times every 4.2 seconds. This is a nice thing to activate during any bossing encounter, as it can easily allow you to not use that piece of food, do a bit more damage, and maybe even skip that one annoying mechanic because of it. Unfortunately, the weapon itself isn't that great, but the Vanquish is. I just have to mention it, as it's such an iconic unlock for Iron Man specifically, but even for mains, it does have some use. This item is unlocked at May's Quest Caravan and can be bought for 150 quest points. I know, quests aren't everyone's cup of tea, and we all can't wait for Quest Helper to come to RuneScape, but seriously, this weapon is worth it with the combat rebalancing changes. You can freely swap out which combat style this weapon is set in, so you can have either a magic, melee, or ranged weapon that is tier 75, which is pretty good if you are a newer player. Now, you might be watching this and you are a Necro Andy, and that is fine. But please, make sure to craft yourself a Death Warden Nexus at level 60 Necromancy. This item is made with 1 silver bar, 1 Ensouled bar, and a cut sapphire, and using the unattuned version that you make at a forge on the Dark Portal at the top of the hill in the city of This item allows you to store all your necrotic runes and necroplasm to summon your minions within it, and is honestly just such a lifesaver to have. You will never have an excuse anymore for not bringing your runes to do Threats of Faith, Bone Shield, or summoning your overpowered minions with the Ectoplasm. An unlock that works for all styles, however, is the Ring of Vigor, the original vendor of Switchgate. But truthfully, this ring is just so good. It is bought with 50,000 Dungeoneering tokens, and when equipped, your ultimate, the abilities that cost 100% adrenaline, will leave you with 10% adrenaline instead of 0% after using them when the ring is on your finger. This is just too good not to use, because you will have more leftover adrenaline after using your big abilities to do other big abilities. Yes, that is how combat works. You can make this a passive instead of a switch, because really, the stats aren't good enough to always have it equipped, by completing the Extinction quest, which is pretty endgame, but for sure a goal to try and achieve. On the subject of Dungeoneering unlocks, there are actually 2 more that I need to tell you about. The first one is not really needed with area looting being a thing, but it is very iconic and still kind of useful when AFKing, and that's the Charming Imp. This item costs a steep 200k Dungeoneering tokens, but it automatically picks up Summoning Charm for you. I wouldn't have it as a high priority, but if you do have the Dungeoneering tokens to spend, it is kind of nice to have, and all the random charms you might not bother to pick up really do add up in the long term. A quick bonus item for you, Charming Potions. These double the charms received from any monster, and if you are farming them, it is pretty good to use. Alright, infinite prayer points when doing combat, like Slayer for example. It's actually a thing because of the Bone Crusher / Demon Horn necklace combination. Well, the Demon Horn necklace is the highest tier of the crushing necklaces, unlocked at 90 Dungeoneering and 90 prayer, but you can easily achieve the same effect with the Dragon Tooth necklace. Unlocked with 17k Dungeoneering points, require you to only have 60 Dungeoneering and 60 prayer, but to achieve the infinite prayer quote-unquote trick, you will also need the Bone Crusher, which costs 34k Dungeoneering points, and or the Ectoplasmator, which you can get as a drop from any type of ghost. Think ghosts, aberrant specters, ankos, etc. The Ectoplasmator can be charged by using ghostly essence on it. I know the and/or sounds a bit vague, but pretty much the Bone Crusher crushes, well, bones, and the Ectoplasmator crushes ashes. What the necklace does in combination with the Bone Crusher or Ectoplasmator is giving you 50 to 100 prayer points back depending on the tier of bone / ash being crushed. What this does when doing Slayer is keeping your prayer topped up and allowing you to always have Soul Split or a protection prayer on. Pretty useful to have, if you ask me. On the topic of useful Slayer unlocks, you want to get yourself a Seedicide. This handy item, unlocked at the player-owned farm shop with 10k beans, allows you to crush all seeds received from monster drops. When this happens, you receive 2 times the experience of planting them. That means the experience you would have gotten when you put the seed in the patch, not the XP you would have received from picking herbs or checking up on a tree. So that means that actually planting the seed and growing it is still better experience per seed. But still, it is very useful to have, as many seeds will never be planted, and especially on the main, you're probably just doing player-owned farms or tree runs after checking out my guide on it. So it's free farming XP while skilling stuff. How nice. Before we get into the best panic button in PVM, let's tackle another useful potion, the Adrenaline Potions. There are 3 versions of it, but they actually require you to make them yourself, as they are untradeable. At level 84, you can make Adrenaline Potions, giving 25% Adrenaline when sipped, Super Adrenaline Potions, made at 87 herb lore and upgraded from regular ones, giving 30% Adrenaline when sipped, and the Adrenaline Renewal, made at 115 herb lore, giving you 40% Adrenaline when sipped. These potions can be such a lifesaver when you need a bit of extra adrenaline. Keep in mind, there is a 2-minute cooldown on sipping your next sip, but it's such a handy tool to have in your arsenal. Very useful in actual rotations when you get deeper into PVM, but even before that, imagine a scenario where you're just missing that little bit of extra adrenaline to do a spender ability to finish off a phase or skip that one mechanic. These can really come in handy. Trust me. Just like the final addition to the list, the Power Burst of Vitality. Made at 105 herb lore, but honestly, they're dirt cheap. So if you are a main account, just buy them. This potion doubles your health temporarily for 6 seconds and can be used in 2 distinct ways. Just keep in mind, just like the Adrenaline Potions, there is a 2-minute cooldown on sipping it again. The first scenario that it's useful at is to cheese a hard-hitting mechanic. One where you might have to move or do a well-timed defensive ability. With the Vitality Potion, you can just sip it and tank it. The second use is to temporarily boost your health so you can focus on doing damage and not worry about your HP. This can be such a lifesaver during bossing encounters, as that extra little health for those 6 seconds can be the difference between getting a kill and visiting Herald at Dev's office. But hey, at least you get to say hi to me when you visit Dev's office, because at this point I live there because I die so much in PVM. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you learned a thing or two and that you have some new tools added to your arsenal for the next time when you go PVMing. Leave a like to help me out, subscribe for more guide videos, and my name's Chevalric. See you guys in my next video.